Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
She claimed self-defense in the shooting death of her husband, Bell Gardens Mayor Daniel Crespo. Now his widow is behind bars, indicted for voluntary manslaughter.
A U.S. drone strike kills an American and an Italian aid worker being held hostage in an al-Qaeda compound. The president offers his condolences personally.
And the connection of this rug to the massacre of more than 1 million Armenians in Turkey, and how it's being used to have the atrocities labeled a genocide. Good evening, I'm Rudabe Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan.
I'm David Ona. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. The wife of late Bell Gardens Mayor Daniel Crespo indicted for voluntary manslaughter in his shooting death. She pled not guilty today, her lawyers saying it was all in self-defense. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez has more on what's next for the mayor's widow.
There's never been any question that Livette Crespo shot and killed her husband of 28 years, Daniel Crespo. The question is, was it legally justified? Was it self-defense? Today, the brother of Daniel Crespo, Willie, spoke out just about that. Here's how he sees it.
She had her way of doing things, and she chose to kill him.
Willie Crespo says he was with Livette and Daniel Crespo hours before the shooting. He says he reported to investigators a simmering argument. Livette angry about an alleged mistress that kept calling the former mayor. Now, after 6 months, Willie Crespo says he's gratified that Livette has been indicted.
She knew how to handle a gun. She could have took matters a different way. She volunteered to kill him. She took matters in her own hands.
The initial investigation by Bell Gardens PD indicated that it was a case of self-defense. The son reports in a 911 call his mother shot his dad to protect him.
It wasn't my mom's fault. Okay. She was defending herself.
The attorney for Livette Crespo alleges she was a battered wife and finally fought back.
To the outside world, Daniel Crespo was a great mayor, a great community leader, but he was also an abusive husband.
Detectives say the mayor's alleged extramarital affairs and Livette's training in handling weapons were part of the investigation. Other evidence reviewed, text messages, including this one allegedly from Daniel to Livette. It says, "And it better be the last you threatened to shoot me in the head." Willie Crespo's attorney, James Devitt, has filed suit against Livette for wrongful death.
I don't know how they couldn't say that she didn't have some planning involved here. She threatened to kill him so many times. And the gun is, obviously she went to get it. In my mind, that's planning right there. That's premeditation.
Livette Crespo will be back in court for a May 29th preliminary hearing. Her bail is set at $150,000. If convicted of the charges, she could spend as much as 21 years in prison. Reporting from Bell Gardens, Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Today we've learned 2 hostages were killed in a U.S. drone strike. President Obama called the family of the American killed with news of his death. The mistaken killings highlight the limitations of U.S. intelligence in the Pakistan region. Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson has the fallout from the killings, which the president is calling a regrettable mistake.
Always had a smile on his face, and he was a lovely man.
Neighbors are paying tribute to Warren Weinstein outside his Maryland home.
9 years ago, I came to Pakistan to help my government.
Weinstein was abducted by al-Qaeda in 2011 while inside Pakistan as an aid worker. The American father and grandfather was being held along with Italian national Giovanni Laporto. The two were hidden inside an al-Qaeda compound deep in the lawless region near Pakistan's border with Afghanistan. The CIA had been watching it continuously for hundreds of hours and was convinced that dangerous al-Qaeda operatives were living there without any civilians inside. So, the CIA ordered a drone strike on the compound.
I take full responsibility for all our counterterrorism operations, including the one that inadvertently took the lives of Warren and Giovanni.
Warren's wife, Elaine, is blaming the U.S. government for, quote, inconsistent support. But Elaine says Warren's captors ultimately bear the responsibility. The White House and Congress are now investigating this intelligence failure.
Take a look at that to make sure that this kind of a occurrence does not happen again.
Part of their legacy is for us to do better.
Also killed in U.S. attacks, al-Qaeda leader Ahmed Farouk and American Adam Gaddan, one of the FBI's most wanted men.
I will now proceed to destroy my American passport.
Gaddan was an English spokesperson for al-Qaeda. He grew up in Riverside County as Adam Perlman, the grandson of a Jewish lawyer. As a teenager in Orange County, he converted to a radicalized version of Islam.
You must pull every last one of your soldiers.
During the Iraq War, he released several videos on behalf of al-Qaeda.
We invite all Americans and other unbelievers to Islam.
In 2006, Adam Gadon was charged with treason. He was the first American charged with treason since World War II. As for Weinstein, he was just 2 days away from going home when he was captured. Reporting from the newsroom, Alex Michelson, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
And coming up at 7:30, we're talking to the leaders of the Orange County Mosque where Adam Gadon was a member before he joined the Taliban.
We got some snow in the local mountains today. Snow flurries fell over parts of Big Bear and Wrightwood today. The snow level was about 6,500 to 7,500 feet. The snow showers left behind a dusting of powder. Meteorologist Jonathan Novak joined us now with the very latest weather. Jonathan?
Well, David, as expected, folks had a few showers and even some storms firing up today. Still a little bit of activity hanging on here on that live Meganopolis 7000 HD and some lightning right there around Fraser Park. This area, same exact area, had some rain yesterday as well. Today, a little bit more widespread. That actually goes all the way down south, just west of Ventura, over the coast there. Now, to the eastern portions of the area, things have lightened up around Big Bear Lake. Still a light snow flurry is possible for a little while longer. And then around Lake Elsinore just south of Lakeland Village, we have a little bit of light rain too. So nothing in terms of intensity that's widespread or too strong right now. And I don't think we're going to see much more of that kind of activity. But maybe some more rain in that forecast. I'll tell you when it will finally dry up in the 7-day. That's in a few minutes.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
You're welcome.
After a battle that took months, the Senate has confirmed a new Attorney General. Today, the Senate voted 56 to 43 to confirm Loretta Lynch as Eric Holder's replacement. She becomes the first African-American woman to hold the position. She was nominated in November and passed committee in February, but her nomination was bogged down in political fights over an anti-human trafficking bill and the president's immigration action.
Congress should not confirm someone to lead the United States Department of Justice who will advance this unconstitutional policy.
I can only hope that Senate Republicans will show her more respect as Attorney General of the United States than she has received as a nominee.
In a statement, President Obama says Lynch's confirmation ensures that America is better positioned to keep the nation safe.
The Armenian Apostolic Church today made saints of the ethnic Armenians killed under Turkey's Ottoman Empire beginning in 1915. The canonization ceremony took place at the Cathedral Church in Armenia, about 12 miles away from the capital of Yerevan. Thousands of people traveled from around to attend. Historians estimate up to 1.5 million ethnic Armenians were killed at the beginning of World War I. Turkey contends that toll has been inflated and denies that the deaths constitute genocide. Earlier this week, Turkey did send condolences to descendants of the killed Armenians. And tomorrow marks the 100th anniversary of what's been called the Armenian Genocide. Getting the United States and Turkey to recognize the killings as genocide has been a constant source of pain and frustration for Armenians around the world. With the monumental anniversary this year, their cause has gained huge momentum. Many local and powerful friends of the Armenian community are now joining the fight.
Last fall, the White House unveiled a rug that had been hidden for years, sewn by Armenian orphans in 1925 as a thank you to President Calvin Coolidge, whose relief agency helped them escape death at the hands of the Turks. Yet 100 years later, our government still has not acknowledged what Armenians and many others call a genocide.
How many years have you been working on this genocide issue? About 18 years.
Congressman Adam Schiff from Southern California was instrumental in getting this rug displayed and continues to push for genocide recognition.
And you look at the millions of knots in this rug, and you realize that these little hands of these orphans made this rug as a thank you. It's an irrefutable part of the history of the genocide.
Yet, the Turkish government continues to deny it was a genocide, and our own government, concerned about its relationship with a valuable ally, will also still not call it genocide. It angers people around the world, especially here in Glendale, the largest Armenian population in the U.S. At the Glendale Fighting Club, you'll find superstars like Ronda Rousey and Travis Brown. The men who trained them here are Armenian, and they'll tell you their toughness comes from their heritage.
Armenians are strong people. They don't give up. They'll do anything to make sure that the genocide is recognized everywhere because it has happened.
In America, Martin Berberian is known as Rousey's wrestling coach, but in Armenia, He's a folk hero. Martin has a storied wrestling career, but it was one particular international tournament in Turkey that made him famous. In the championship round, his opponent was a Turk, and of all the days, the match was on the day Armenians marked the anniversary of the genocide. Trainer Sevak Ohanjanian translates.
I'll bleed if I have to, but I'll make sure I get the victory for my country and my people.
And he did.
The Armenians, they always say that Martin Berberian, on the day of the genocide commemoration day, he rose the Armenian flag in Turkey and he won.
They won't give up. You know, we're little, but we're strong, I always say.
Edmund Treverdian is Rousey's primary trainer. He's in Armenia this week with his star athlete. And these pictures show their arrival just yesterday.
She's real, she understands, she accepts that it happened, and it hurts her because, you know, we're a family to her. She says, you're a family to me, and, you know, I support this 100%.
Together, they are fighting to show the world the genocide did happen. Mass murder a century ago, yet a population still suffers. Armenians long for recognition, an important gesture to ease their pain.
And every year on this anniversary, we see protesters marching in West LA, pushing to have the genocide recognized. Undoubtedly tomorrow, they'll be out in force on this 100th anniversary. And as we do every year, we'll be over it live.
And that wrestling match was so cool to see him win.
Yeah.
I was rooting for him.
Oh, yeah. A lot of pressure on him.
Yeah. All right. Well, up next, a big victory for exotic dancers.
The big payout they were awarded today and what they plan to do with those millions. Plus this.
People like me has made it a violent, unsafe place to live.
A judge says enough is enough for tongue lashing for a gang member in her courtroom.
And it's one of the most anticipated interviews of the year. Diane Sawyer sits down with Bruce Jenner. The full interview airs tomorrow. See a clip from it just ahead.
Judges are used to handing down sentences, but one judge in Tennessee also served a punishment in the form of a tongue lashing before the trial even began.
Like court did not know good. It's the citizens of the United States who own the staff because they work and they pay taxes. You don't own the staff.
This video of Judge Lila Statham has gone viral. She's lashing out an accused gang member, O'Shea Smith, who allegedly shot a rival gang member for being, quote, in his hood. The case will now go before a grand jury where Smith faces several charges, including attempted first-degree murder.
Exotic dancers win a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against a local strip club. The dancers accused club managers of acting illegally when they took part of their tips for private VIP dances. And Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin has details.
It's a common practice at most strip clubs. Customers pay extra for lap dances or private booths. But at Paradise Showgirls in the City of Industry, dancers had to pay the owner of the club a rental fee of $14 for a lap dance booth or $100 for a VIP booth. A lawsuit was filed, and today the verdict. An LA County jury ruled that the club's rental fees were illegal and that the club owes hundreds of dancers $6.5 million.
We're thrilled and delighted to have had such a conscientious and thoughtful jury. They got it right.
Attorney K.L. Miles represents the plaintiff, who sued successfully, alleging that the club illegally took a portion of the money earned by the dancers.
Money she received directly from customers that was paid to her was misappropriated by the club, that they unlawfully took money from her. And the jury agreed with her and agreed with the fact that they took money from 249 dancers.
Attorney Ernest Franceschi represents the club. He says his client is entitled to rental fees.
It's just like renting stage time. We operate kind of like a theater. So that's what it is. The jury found they were tips under the court's instructions, which we take issue with.
One of the jurors says the verdict sends a message.
I think that they should understand that now that this has happened, there's going to be some changes made with all the clubs and how the girls are paid.
Franceschi says his client isn't giving up.
We think this classification violates equal protection, so there's going to be a constitutional challenge on appeal.
Now, this was a class action lawsuit, so that means that a total of 249 dancers would be eligible for that $6.5 million verdict. But again, the attorney for the club owner says they will appeal this verdict. Reporting from the City of Industry, Robert Olguin, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
He's an Olympic gold medalist, actor, reality star, and father. But recently it's been Bruce Jenner's personal life that's made headlines, from the tabloids to TV talk shows. Now he's sitting down with Diane Sawyer to set the record straight, and ABC's Amy Robach has a preview.
It's the interview the world is waiting to hear. In this morning's just-released promo, Bruce Jenner talks about his thoughts and his worries.
It's going to be an emotional roller coaster, but somehow I'm going to get through it.
His journey and his future.
I want to know how this story ends. You know, how does my story end?
It's a question so many have been asking, with speculation and rumors about Jenner hitting a fever pitch over the last few months.
It made me who I am.
Jenner, of course, has been in the public eye since 1976, when he became an instant celebrity, winning the Olympic decathlon and becoming known as the world's greatest athlete. Then in 2007, reinventing himself as a reality star on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Stepfather to 4, father of 6, as he prepares to open up to Diane Sawyer, it's that family he worries about now.
Those are the only ones I'm concerned with. I can't let myself hurt them.
That was ABC's Amy Robach reporting. And a reminder, Diane Sawyer's exclusive interview with former Olympian-turned-reality star Bruce Jenner airs on 2020 tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on KABC.
Tonight we are seeing new video from that erupting volcano in southern Chile. Twin blasts from the Calbuco volcano have sent vast clouds of ash into the sky. There are increasing concerns that it could contaminate water, cause respiratory illnesses, and ground more flights. The volcano erupted Wednesday afternoon for the first time in more than 4 decades, and then had another outburst early today. Authorities evacuated 4,000 people.
Incredible video. All right, well, let's get a check now on weather with meteorologist Jonathan Novak here in our neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty tame here in that live Mega Doppler 7000 HD, except for a couple of spots. And I'm going to bring you back about 6 hours or so to show you the trend is a downtrend in terms of the coverage and the shower activity that's been going on. It's a heavier storm that was around the high desert east of Lancaster and Palmdale earlier that drifted to the south, and some snow around Wrightwood. But now things are pretty much hanging on around Wrightwood, just in the shape of some light flurries at worst. Otherwise, things have dried up in that area. And we'll move off to the west. There is a heavier pocket of some shower activity right west of Ventura, and that moves all the way up north just west of Frazier Park. There was some lightning here just about 10 minutes ago, so this is actually starting to die off as well. And then down to the south, a little bit of light rain right around Lake Elsinore, and some showers to the south of our area. So for tonight, that's going to be the case. We're going to see pretty much the rain dry out tomorrow. Maybe a shower in the mountains, but I think we're pretty much done with the rain for the most part. By the way, great time-lapse of Angeles National Forest earlier. We had a little bit of light snow with some of the activity today, and still, like I said, around Wrightwood, and this is Big Bear, a little bit of snow still ongoing. 37 in the mountains right now, and downtown's at 62. It was a cool day to boot. 69 was our high in downtown, below average again. It's going to be another cool day tomorrow, another cool day on Saturday. Then we start a warm-up, which I'll show you in just a minute, getting ahead of myself. Temperatures generally in the upper 50s, lower 60s for all of Southern California, unless you're in the mountains. And the satellite and radar imagery showing this big trough, or really just digging deep south of our area, still in place, this trough of low pressure. And it will be for about another day. We'll see a little energy roll through on Saturday, give us a slim chance of rain again. I can show you that right here in the future scan. This is Friday afternoon into Saturday, right there. Another trough digs south into our area in the afternoon time on Saturday. That will spell maybe a shower or two, 20% chance. Not a big chance on Saturday. Sunday, Monday rolls around, and then we start a big warm-up. This is a ridge of high pressure, and that moves in for the western portion of the country Monday on. And so you'll see a big warm-up starting Sunday into Monday. Look at that. We're in the 60s tomorrow, pretty much on Saturday, with a couple of showers on Saturday, but into the 80s by Monday. Some spots will, in inland areas, hit 90, I think, on Monday. You got that in the forecast for the valleys and the IE. So in the meantime, Friday and Saturday will be cool ones. 89 on Monday, 90 on Tuesday, about that on Wednesday. Next week is looking fantastic. Back to some spring-like kind of temperatures. Good stuff. Even summer-like temperatures, you could say. The beach forecast for the next 2 days is going to be cloudy to partly cloudy at best. And then you'll warm up to 78 starting on Monday. The warm-up's going to wait a few days as well for the mountains. You have a shot at some showers tomorrow and again on Saturday. Maybe some snow in there, of course, and the temperatures in the 60s from Sunday on. In the high desert, saw a little rain today. Slim chance for that to happen again on Friday and Saturday. Otherwise, temperatures into the 80s, nearing 90 by next Tuesday, Wednesday. So not a bad week for the rain, guys, finally. Next week's looking good. Back to you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
Up next is the planned merger of Time Warner and Comcast. Now a dead deal.
Plus, a first look at 3D technology that can change the way we eat. But will you be willing to take a bite?
And ahead at 7:30, dramatic video of a firefighter injured after falling through a burning roof. Now a big break in the arson investigation. The mega merger between Comcast and Time Warner Cable, that is, have fallen through. That's according to Bloomberg and the New York Times. Both are reporting that Comcast has decided to walk away from the $45 billion deal amidst pushback from regulators. If it had worked out, Comcast would have controlled 30% of TV and 55% of broadband subscribers. We reached out to Comcast and they had no comment, though Bloomberg reports Comcast may make an announcement as soon as tomorrow.
Could this be the fast food of the future? Instead of cooking what you eat, imagine printing it. Those attending a 3D food printing conference in the Netherlands hope this will catch on in kitchens around the world. Here they're demonstrating techniques using fruit and vegetable-based gelatin. The question is whether the general public will have an appetite for it.
We are going back to the time where microwaves arrived to the kitchen and people were saying, I'm not going to eat up my food in a microwave because I just don't understand it. So it's a different technology, but it's the same concept. Once your mind allows it to be part of your kitchen, you will be able to print your food.
For parents of finicky eaters, developers say this may be a way to get your kids to eat their vegetables.
A lot of skepticism. I am absolutely sure of that. This is nothing like turkey jello.
Well, it's interesting. Never know.
It is
Never know.
You're right. It's Star Trek. That's what it is. We're updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30.
Including more on the drone strike that killed American Taliban member Adam Gadon. Next, we hear from leaders of the Orange County Mosque where Gadon had been a member.
Plus, a local man survived a hit and run, and now he's going the extra mile to try to track down the driver.
Live from ABC7, This is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Top story at 7:30. The wife of Bell Gardens Mayor Daniel Crespo has been indicted for voluntary manslaughter in her husband's shooting death. I'm David Ono.
I'm Rutabaga Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. In court today, Lavette Crespo pleaded not guilty. She's accused of shooting her husband 3 times in the chest at their home last September. Crespo's attorney says she was a victim of domestic violence, but the mayor's brother says those claims are lies. If convicted, she faces up to 21 years in state prison.
President Obama is taking responsibility for the accidental killing of an American and Italian hostage in an American drone strike in Pakistan. The January strike targeted what was believed to be an al-Qaeda compound with no civilians present. Dr. Warren Weinstein and Giovanni Laporta were both aid workers. Also killed in the raids, 2 American members of al-Qaeda, Ahmed Farouk and Adam Gaddan. Gaddan grew up in Southern California, and now it is News Orange County Bureau Chief Eileen Frere reports from Garden Grove at the mosque Gaddan attended.
I will now proceed to destroy my American passport.
He referred to himself as Azam the American in statements supporting al-Qaeda, but he was known as Adam Gaddan when he attended this Garden Grove mosque in the 1990s.
He said that he wanted to be a Muslim, so we welcome everybody.
The director of the Islamic Society of Orange County says he knew the young man before he became radicalized, before Gaddan became the spokesman for the terror network, releasing propaganda videos.
We do not subscribe to that ideology at all. We condemn terrorism. We condemn terrorists. We stand here for peace and justice.
Word of the 36-year-old's death in a drone strike in Pakistan caught religious leaders here off guard.
We are surprised that he was killed again because we heard a few years ago that he was killed.
In 2008, a British newspaper reported Gaddan may have been killed in an airstrike. U.S. officials now say he was killed last January, along with another al-Qaeda leader, Ahmed Farouk. In 2006, Gaddan was indicted for treason. He was also on the FBI's most wanted terrorist list. Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui says he can't understand what led Gaddan down this path. He says he grew up in Riverside County and lived in Orange County. Siddiqui even gave him a job at the mosque as a security guard, but he ran into trouble, not for his ideology, but for sleeping on the job and getting into a fight with one of the leaders in 1997.
He was taken out. After that, we never saw him, we never heard of him. He disappeared.
Gaddan was the first person to be charged with treason against the United States since the World War II era. In Garden Grove, Eileen Frere, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Los Angeles police officers fatally shoot a man with a gun near Olive Vista Middle School in Sylmar. Detectives say when officers arrived at the scene, the man pointed the gun at his own head and ignored orders to drop it. Investigators say when the man pointed the gun at police, an officer shot him. He later died at the hospital. Authorities have not yet released the man's name pending notification of his family. No officers were injured.
A search is underway for a hit-and-run driver who severely injured a bicyclist in East Los Angeles. The collision was caught on surveillance video, and we warn you, some viewers may find the video disturbing. Now, on Monday morning, the victim was riding his bicycle on the sidewalk of Olympic Boulevard near Arizona Avenue. The CHP says he had the green light, but a Toyota pickup failed to stop for a red light at the intersection, hitting him in the crosswalk. The cyclist suffered major head trauma. The Toyota has an extended cab, black graphics along the sides, and a metal rack. Anyone who recognizes it is urged to call the CHP at 323-259-2010. An Antelope Valley man is on a mission to find the hit-and-run driver who left him injured. It has been weeks since the incident at Sierra Highway and Avenue R in Palmdale, and police have made no arrests. As Eyewitness News reporter Leo Stallworth explains, police say they are overwhelmed with the number of unsolved hit-and-runs.
There's too many people getting killed or run over or crippled.
55-year-old Richard Skinner is outraged he was nearly killed by a hit-and-run driver just over a month ago. He says he spent a week in the hospital from his injuries, a lacerated kidney, deep gash to the head, and fractured back.
So you're still in pain? Yeah. And it's going to be a while because I'm diabetic, so the healing process is a lot slower.
Skinner says he wanted to speak out on Eyewitness News to appeal to the suspect to do the right thing and turn himself in.
The sheriffs can't find anybody because there's no witnesses, or if there is, they're not coming forward. Two is like, dude, you got to be held accountable for it. And there's so many hit and runs, and nobody gets punished.
He says he was walking home around 7:30 at night when the vehicle hit him from behind near the intersection of East Avenue R, Sierra Highway, and Palmdale. Skinner said he was hit so hard he was lifted off the ground and sent sailing a good 2 feet. He landed in the dirt. By the time he says he was able to look up, the hit-and-run driver was long gone. Skinner says had it not been for a tow truck driver stopping to help him, he may have been left on the ground in pain for hours.
He was pretty banged up. Our driver, Joaquin, actually aided him.
LA County Sheriff detectives in Palmdale say hit-and-run accidents in the area are on the rise. They need your help finding the driver who hit Skinner. If you can help, they want you to call them at 661-272-2400. In Palmdale, Leo Starr with ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A woman has been arrested on arson charges for the fire that injured a Fresno fire captain. Pete Dern fell through the garage roof while battling the flames. He's now recovering from second and third degree burns. 52-year-old Julia Harper, who lived in the home, has been arrested. Fire investigators say Harper has a history with fires and suffered burns in a 2009 fire. A woman who was declared factually innocent after spending 17 years in prison for a murder she did not commit filed a civil rights lawsuit. Susan Mellon and her children are suing the city of Los Angeles. The suit claims the LAPD orchestrated Mellon's wrongful conviction by using a witness her lawyers claim was known to be a liar. Mellon wants the department to be held accountable and compensation for her loss.
I lost all the birthday parties for my children and Christmas, and they're getting married and graduations, and that was a huge loss. Mother's Day was, every Mother's Day I'd probably just stayed in my bed and cried all day because I couldn't be with them.
Mellon was released in October. The LAPD says it does not comment on pending litigation.
Arraignment has been postponed for the alleged stalker accused of breaking into Sandra Bullock's West L.A. home. Joshua James Corbett did not enter a plea, and his attorneys asked to push the arraignment 2 weeks. He's facing felony charges for residential burglary, stalking, and possession of illegal weapons. Investigators say he climbed a fence to get into Bullock's home and had photos of her from magazines. The actress was home at the time. She called 911, locked herself in a bedroom closet until police arrived.
3 more women have come forward accusing comedian Bill Cosby of sexually assaulting them. They say they're speaking out because Cosby has refused to acknowledge or take responsibility for his actions.
3 more alleged victims are the latest in a parade of women who say they were drugged and sexually assaulted by Bill Cosby while they were in their 20s. All 3 of them saying they blacked out and woke up woozy in bed with Cosby after he gave them drinks or pills.
I don't know how I left. I don't know how I got home. But I do know and feel that I was targeted and drugged by Bill Cosby.
He picked me up and put me on top of him and had his way with me. And then I rolled off. And my only thought was I want to go home. I have to go home.
I woke up the next morning naked, in bed with a naked Bill Cosby.
The statute of limitations has run out for any of these women to pursue legal action against Cosby, but attorney Gloria Allred says they have decided to speak out now to hold him accountable in the court of public opinion.
The women who are with me today are not the last ones who will come forward. I can assure him that there will be more, because women are no longer going to be intimidated by Cosby's celebrity, his money, or his power.
There are now more than 40 accusers. Meantime, as Bill Cosby continues his current tour, Allred is urging the public to boycott his performances or to stand up and disrupt them. Many of his tour dates have already been postponed or canceled.
Parts of Redondo Beach are being overrun by sea lions. Up next, how the city is ready to spend thousands of dollars on a potential solution.
Plus, a happy update today for this dog found abandoned in a home for 2 months. It's a story we learned about with the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness.
Still some rain out there. The echo showing up on that live Megalopolis 7000 HD when it dries up and warms back up in your 7-day coming up.
Another sea lion problem along the coast. Sea lions are causing property damage, and there's concern over the animals' aggressive behavior towards people. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia reports from Redondo Beach on a plan to protect both the sea lions and people's property.
Lounging around Redondo Beach isn't so bad if you're a sea lion. The problem is they have overstayed their welcome in the marina and harbor areas.
It's a mess, let me tell you that.
Chip Mold runs one of the fuel stations in the marina. He says for nearly a year the sea lions have been crowding the docks, and it stinks, literally.
They come in groups, they pile on top of each other, there's a lot of weight, and not only that, but the mess behind what they leave, it's a tremendous cleanup you have to do, and the smell is horrible.
The city of Redondo Beach will spend just over $50,000 to build a 680-square-foot barge to anchor near a bait station away from the marina. The city says it'll hold roughly 120 sea lions.
We're anticipating that they'll recognize this as a platform that is away from people, which they like, and where they can haul out, rest, socialize, and not be bothered by people and their activities.
The reason they're here, it's a resting spot for the adults after swimming miles offshore looking for food to feed themselves and their pups. The sickly ones that recently washed ashore, experts say, weren't as lucky in finding food as the sea lion seen here. In the meantime, marina operators are telling boat owners to be careful when they come to the docks and approach their boats.
We just have to be cautious and keep our tenants aware of how to deal with the safety that's involved in some of the diseases they carry, things like that. Just they look like fun pets, but you got to be careful that you don't treat them that way.
Remember, sea lions are wild animals, and this piece of advice from the chief. I'm probably too close to it, but remember, they bite, and they bite really hard. In Redondo Beach, I'm Sid Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A dog abandoned when his owners were evicted is getting a new home. The heartwarming story was brought to our attention by one of our eyewitnesses. Neighbors noticed Shaggy was left behind when his owners moved out. For nearly 2 months, they fed him, hoping his owners might return. And when they realized that wasn't going to happen, they reached out for help online to find Shaggy a new home.
I follow lots of rescues on Facebook, so social media, and I saw his picture and his story, and my heart just absolutely went out of my chest.
Tina Eastcott is providing the dog with a foster home until a forever family can be found. She's thankful Shaggy's neighbors looked after him and reached out for help. And if they hadn't, she says Shaggy's story wouldn't have had a happy ending. And this story came to our attention with the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness. Share your story ideas, pictures, and video with that hashtag on social media. And you can also upload the free ABC7 app and go to the ABC7.com.
Well, today we've seen some rain and snow. What's ahead for the weekend? Meteorologist Jonathan Novak has his complete forecast up next.
Plus, the Dodgers try to avoid a 3-game sweep by their biggest rival, the San Francisco Giants. Highlights are coming up in this story.
He's just 8 years old, but he is on a high-level LAPD mission. Rob Hayes will tell you why this boy is patrolling the skies over LA. Coming up.
Seen a little rain and even some snow today. Let's get a check on weather now with meteorologist Jonathan Novak.
We get excited in the weather office. Doesn't take much. All right. What's that? It's a change. We like that. Hey, can you see the rainbow here? This is from earlier today, Angeles National Forest, right there. After some of the activity we had today, still a little bit of shower activity showing up on that live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. This first is going to be in loop mode. I want to show you some of the heavier stuff from earlier. This was north of Wrightwood, east of Palmdale. A storm that fired up and brought some real heavy rain earlier, and that fizzled out. Now Wrightwood pretty much dry. A couple echoes, real small echoes just south of you, otherwise dry. And to the west of you, we actually have a storm that was trying to hold on, now starting to really lighten up, but nevertheless some light rain from Ventura north just around the Frazier Park area. This is the same spot yesterday had some light rain too, so you guys have been getting a little bit of rain this week. And then down to the south, some last bits of rain around Lake Elsinore. Okay, so that's right now what's going on at the moment. Tonight, we're going to be drying out a lot like last night. The clouds still out. Temperatures cool once again. Today's high was 69. Normally we're 74. That's been the trend all week. It'll continue to be the trend as we go through Saturday. Then things change in your 7-day. Momentarily, we'll get to that. LAX live shot now, and we're at 59, already into the 50s at the coast with a light breeze out of the west, and temperatures elsewhere pretty much following suit. 65 Temecula, 61 Hemet, 59 in Santa Monica, and 63 at Long Beach. So a coolish evening. Tomorrow, the rain is pretty much out of the picture. I'm going to bring it back, though, on Saturday, just a slight chance. First of all, here's the low that's moving out that brought us the rain the last couple of days. As that slides away, we're going to make room for a weak front to push in. That's right up here around the Pacific Northwest. As that slides in, as we go through Saturday, we could have a shower or two. Chance is pretty low, though, about 20%. What happens after that is the warm-up on Sunday. You can really see everything in the scope here of the future scan. Friday afternoon into Saturday, there's the system that I just made mention of. Once it moves out, we have high pressure building back in. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, with temperatures into the 90s in some of the inland spots by Tuesday. And that's that ridge right there. You see that arc? That means high pressure building in. That means warmer weather. So that will be next week. Until then, more of the same in terms of the temperatures. 68 Los Angeles, 66 Simi Valley is what you're looking for your highs tomorrow. 67 and we'll say breezy in Palmdale tomorrow. 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County powered up by AccuWeather. 70 on Saturday, a tiny warm-up there. The real warm-up is going to have to wait till Sunday and Monday into the 80s by Monday with some winds kicking up in LA. Nights. Valley's IE 67 to 69 the next few days. A slight chance of some rain on Saturday with that front, and you're into the 90s by Monday and Tuesday. The beach forecast looks cool and cloudy the next couple of days. You're into the upper 70s by Monday. So not the beach weekend you might want, maybe Sunday, but Saturday a little bit cloudy. And then the mountain forecast, a couple of showers still possible for you actually tomorrow and Saturday next week into the 60s. That's it, guys. Looks like not a wet rest of the week, but maybe a couple of showers in the mountains tomorrow. Otherwise, looks good.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
Well, the Dodgers won all the regular season hardware last season, but it was the Giants that hoisted another World Series trophy, their third in 5 years. And in their first series of this season, the rivals up north took it to Big Blue. Getaway day by the Bay, second inning. Alex Guerrero hits his second home run in as many days. His fourth of the season gives L.A. a 1-0 lead. Third inning, Agon goes yard. Adrian Gonzalez, first home run since the third game of the season, hits sixth. Makes it 2-0 Dodgers, but the Giants tie the game at 2 in the ninth. And then in the 10th, the runners on first and second, Justin Maxwell with a walk-off single. The Giants sweep the Dodgers 3-2, the final in 10 innings. Vladimir Guerrero back on his old stomping grounds. Not much offense for the Angels, but they made it count. Third inning, Cole Calhoun supplies the only hit for the Angels, and it's a good one. 2-run home run to right. It gives them a 2-0 lead. Nick Tropiano making his first start for the Angels, and the 23-year-old did well, going 6+ innings, giving 5 hits, but more importantly, no runs while striking out 5. The Halos take 2 of 3 from the A's. The Clippers let one get away last night. L.A. up 2 with 11 seconds to play. Blake Griffin, who had a triple-double, loses the ball. The Spurs, Patty Mills, who's fouled by Chris Paul. Mills made both free throws to tie the game. CP3 had a chance to win at the buzzer, but his jumper over Tim Duncan doesn't fall. And in the extra frame, game tied at 101. San Antonio goes on a 6-0 run to tie the series at 1. Despite a big game, Blake takes the blame.
That was going to hurt, but in the course of the game, we had to move on. Still had a chance there. I like the way we fought. Down 10, came back, got in the game, got up. I just got to take care of the ball. We got to be better and go in their place and take one.
You can catch Game 4, the Clippers and the Spurs, Sunday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. on ABC7 or watch the ABC app. After the game, the Sports Zone, Kurt Sandoval will have live post-game reports from San Antonio. Rob Fukuzaki will be in studio along with Lisa Leslie and Michael Cooper.
Well, he's flown in a helicopter, gone on a high-speed pursuit, and strategized with the SWAT team, and he's only 8 years old. All of this, a wish come true for Noah Cohen, who, despite having a rare genetic disorder, was able to keep up with the LAPD all day long. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes tagged along for the fun.
8-year-old Noah Cohen has plenty of bad days. This
must be Noah.
Was not one of those days.
Love it.
Yep, Noah got to spend the day doing the coolest things the Los Angeles Police Department is allowed to do.
Daddy, Dad, what are we supposed to do?
Manning a police driving simulator. Taking part in a high-speed pursuit. And flying air support in this LAPD chopper high over Los Angeles. The sky literally the limit for Noah.
This is the ride of my life.
Noah's spending his day with the LAPD, courtesy of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The Vermont boy was born with a rare series of birth defects, which means he spent a huge part of his life in hospitals and operating rooms.
He has had 24 surgeries. They've included surgeries on his heart, his lungs, his spine, his trachea, his esophagus.
Noah and his family landed in L.A. Wednesday night. Los Angeles, Noah's dream adventure after he got hooked on reruns of the old 70s show Emergency. But the TV make-believe became reality.
Let's go get him anyway.
Noah even got a chance to meet LAPD Chief Charlie Beck, strategize with the SWAT team, and chase some bad guys in a gut-wrenching pursuit.
We were just spinning around and we were in like a cop car and now I got to arrest the suspect. So.
Hopefully we have given Noah an experience he'll never ever forget, neither him nor his family.
Sounds good. It's definitely been the best few days of our life just to see it, him so happy and to be the focus and the attention. It's just great.
And ear-splitting, tire screeching, high-flying, make-a-wish adventure. And while the honorary LAPD helmet will eventually be removed, it's hard to imagine Noah's smile ever coming off. In Granada Hills, Rob Hayes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
More news straight ahead here at 7:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. A Vegas brawl inside a crowded casino caught on camera. What sparked the confrontation? ISIS is considered the world's most barbaric terrorist group, but one man armed only with a camera risks everything and takes you inside ISIS. An ABC7 U.S. exclusive. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56. Law and Order SVU is next here on LA56.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com. Have a good night.
This is ABC7 weather.
Hey everybody, Jonathan Novak here. Area low pressure that brought us rain the last couple of days moving out. In between this system and the next one, it's going to stay dry. Although when we get to Saturday afternoon, we'll have a weak front move through. Slight chance of rain. Otherwise, the forecast looks pretty good. Looks, in fact, like the forecast is going to be much warmer as you get through the end of the weekend. This is Friday at noon into Saturday afternoon. You'll see the energy, the system I just showed you, moving to the south. That means a 20% chance of some rain.